It's hard not to feel disappointed in your government when every day there's a new scandal. Those are the words of the Prime Minister in 2013. But after 8 years of his own leadership, we have a Canada that feels broken, according to most Canadians. They've broken family budgets, they've broken the bail system, and again, they've broken the law. This time, it's the Prime Minister's parliamentary secretary. This is the 6th consecutive ethics breach from these Liberals. No accountability for any of these cases. Why does nobody over there get fired?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Parliamentary Secretary has apologized. The Parliamentary Secretary wrote a note in support of a business in his constituency, a business that supports Black and multi-ethnic communities across Canada. And while it is admirable that all of us want to support local enterprise and business in our constituencies, the Parliamentary Secretary recognizes that it was inappropriate for him to write a letter supporting that agency and to support that business in his riding, and has apologized, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Thornhill.
Zero accountability, zero consequences, and a zero on ethics. We hope that the Prime Minister's upcoming trip to the Caribbean today is better or more productive than the last one, which resulted in his own law-breaking. And that, of course, wasn't the only time he stepped in on SNC-Lavalin. And the only person who was fired in that case was the first female Indigenous Attorney General. The Trade Minister refuses to pay back taxpayers for giving tens of thousands of dollars to her best friend in an illegal contract. Will anyone over there who broke the law get fired?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I think it's important every single day that we show up and that we do our utmost to serve Canadians. And the reality is the government has done that in all of its actions. The reality, as I've said on many occasions, is that there are almost 2 million Canadians today who have jobs who did not have jobs when they were in government. That there is 2.7 million less people in poverty today than when they were in office. Mr. Speaker, I know they're focused on us. I know they're focused on politics. We are focused on delivering results for Canadians and improving their lives.
The Honourable Member for Thornhill.
We're focused on the Liberals who broke the law. There's one set of rules for these Liberals and another set of rules for everyone else. And don't take it from me, this is what the outgoing Ethics Commissioner said yesterday. Over the last 5 years and on several occasions, I've observed senior officials being unaware of their obligations and mistakenly making assumptions. For insiders, it's cushy contracts, special access, and special treatment to get ahead. And while Canadians get record inflation, record home prices, and record despair. So I'll ask for the third time. Is anyone over there going to take responsibility for breaking the law?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, let's be clear, hyperbole aside, that the reality is that this side of the House is focused on helping shepherd the country through some of the most difficult times it's faced since World War II. And yes, while it's true it's not enough that we have a lower inflation rate than Europe, or the G7 average or the G20 average, the US, the UK, or elsewhere, that leading in difficult times is not enough. That's why we have concrete measures to actually help on issues like housing, like the member talked about, that they actually voted against, to help on areas like childcare that they voted against, to help vulnerable peoples. Unfortunately, those are actions they didn't take when they had the opportunity.
Another day, another Liberal caught breaking ethics laws. This time it's the Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister who was caught using his position to further the interests of a company. Now, the Liberals are so brazen in their law-breaking that they have a member of the Ethics Committee who is breaking ethics laws. You know, these Liberals think they're above the law. For everyday Canadians, there are consequences when they break the law. So why does the Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister get to keep his job after he broke the law?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the Parliamentary Secretary has apologized, as I indicated in this House. There was a company that supports Black and multi-ethnic communities across. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I indicated, the Parliamentary Secretary errantly and has admitted the mistake. It supported a business that is supporting and reflects black and multi-ethnic communities across Canada, that he wanted to support the important work that they were doing, but recognizes that it was inappropriate for him to send that letter. But let me say of that parliamentary secretary that he is somebody with passion and dedication, serves his constituents and his country, and that in the difference, I guess, between ourselves as the Conservatives, when we make a mistake, we apologize and we re-endeavour to do better.
Honourable member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands and Rideau Lakes.
Yeah, well, maybe when Canadians are caught breaking the law, this government's okay if they just say sorry. After 8 years of this Prime Minister, Canadians don't expect that the Prime Minister will take any action when his ministers and parliamentary secretaries break the law, because he would have to hold himself to a high standard as well, having twice been caught breaking ethics laws. It's a cabinet of serial lawbreakers with the Trade Minister, the Intergovernmental Affairs Minister, the former Finance Minister, and even the Prime Minister. Both this Prime Minister and his parliamentary secretary broke the law. Who's going to resign first?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
As I indicated, the parliamentary secretary did send a letter attempting to support a business that he believed in, but recognized that it was inappropriate for him to send that letter. The idea that the parliamentary secretary would give up his position from such a mistake, I think is terrible. And the reality is, in my estimation, Mr. Speaker, and they can yell and scream, but maybe they should reflect. We all make mistakes in life. We take ownership for them. The parliamentary secretary did exactly that. The level of his mistake absolutely does not warrant him resigning.